Have you ever noticed that something which once brought you comfort, like masturbation, now feels rushed, frustrating, or oddly disconnected? You're not alone. For millions of men over 60, what used to be natural and even nourishing has turned into a source of confusion or disappointment. I'm Dr. Mark Brennan, a board-certified urologist with over 30 years of experience helping men reclaim their vitality, confidence, and intimate well-being in their later years. And what I've found is surprising: most men over 60 are unknowingly making 7 simple, yet damaging mistakes when it comes to self-pleasure. Habits that were once harmless in their youth have quietly turned into obstacles that sabotage their physical health, emotional balance, and even self-respect. In today's video, I'll walk you through these 7 silent mistakes and, more importantly, how to correct them. You'll discover how a few small shifts in your mindset and technique can reignite sensitivity, restore satisfaction, and bring you back into harmony with your body. If you care about protecting your long-term health and maintaining your masculine energy in a mindful, healthy way, hit that subscribe button, tap the bell so you don't miss the next tip, and type 1 in the comments if you've ever felt something's changed. Because the truth is, it's not too late to feel like yourself again. One of the most common misconceptions I hear from older men is this: if I stop ejaculating, I'll have more energy, stronger focus, maybe even higher testosterone. At first glance, it seems logical. After all, conserving something should mean keeping more of it, right? But when it comes to your sexual health, especially after 60, this belief can do far more harm than good. This myth, rooted in outdated ideas and internet pseudoscience, suggests that semen is a kind of limited energy reservoir, and by holding onto it, you're somehow preserving your masculinity. The truth: your body wasn't built for long-term retention. In fact, denying it when it was designed to do can lead to discomfort, emotional tension, and even physical complications. Let's start with your pelvic region. When ejaculation is suppressed for long periods, many older men report a dull ache, a sense of heaviness, or even outright pelvic pain. This isn't just in your head, it's called pelvic congestion. It's your body's way of saying, I need release, not repression. Over time, this pressure can interfere with prostate health, bladder function, and even your ability to enjoy intimacy. Then there's the emotional toll. Many men who practice long-term abstinence in hopes of building discipline end up feeling irritable, anxious, or unusually tense. Why? Because your body's natural hormonal cycles are being disrupted. Regular, moderate ejaculation actually helps balance testosterone, dopamine, and oxytocin hormones responsible for confidence, mood regulation, and connection. What's more, there's zero clinical evidence showing that abstaining for weeks or months significantly boosts testosterone in men over 60. In fact, studies suggest that prolonged abstinence may lead to lower satisfaction, increased stress, and ironically worse performance. Instead of sharpening you, this habit may dull your senses and disconnect you from your body's true rhythm. Now, this isn't to say that daily release is necessary, or that every man's rhythm should be the same. What's important is mindful moderation, listening to your body, not suppressing it. For many older men, a healthy frequency might be once a week or every few days. The goal isn't to chase numbers, it's to honor your physical and emotional needs. Think of it this way: masturbation, when done consciously, isn't an act of indulgence, it's an act of maintenance. Just like stretching keeps your muscles flexible and walking supports your heart, mindful self-pleasure keeps your pelvic floor healthy, your hormones balanced, and your sense of masculinity intact. Even more importantly, it reconnects you with yourself. As we age, the goal of sexuality shifts from performance to presence. It's not about proving your strength, it's about staying in touch with what makes you feel alive, confident, and whole. So if you've been clinging to the idea that retention equals power, it may be time to rethink. Ask yourself, is this belief helping me feel better or keeping me stuck in shame and frustration? Because the truth is, releasing isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And it's a part of healthy aging that too many men overlook. Remember, you haven't outgrown pleasure. You've earned the right to experience it with more clarity, intention, and grace than ever before. Let's be honest, when something feels good, we tend to stick with it. And over the years, many men have developed their own go-to way of self-pleasure. Same hand, same rhythm, same pressure. It becomes a pattern, a comfort zone. But what feels familiar isn't always what's best for your long-term pleasure or performance. The human body is incredibly adaptive. That means the more you expose it to the same kind of stimulation, the more it becomes dependent on it. And for men over 60, that's where the problem begins. By using the same grip and motion every time, you're essentially training your body and, more specifically, your nervous system to respond only to that specific pattern. Over time, this can reduce sensitivity, it can make it harder to climax, and it can even interfere with your ability to enjoy intimacy with a partner, because real-life connection doesn't mimic that exact rhythm or pressure your body has been conditioned to expect. It's like going to the gym and doing only one exercise for years. You'll get stronger in one area, but weaker everywhere else. The same is true for your sensory system. When you stimulate the same spot in the same way, your nerves stop firing at full strength. The result, diminished sensation, delayed response, and growing frustration. Here's the good news. You don't need to give anything up, you just need to expand your repertoire. Start by switching hands. If you normally use your right, try your left. Yes, it may feel awkward at first, but that's the point. It forces your brain to stay present. It re-engages your senses. Change your grip, go gentler, slower, firmer, looser. Alter your rhythm circular. Instead of linear, fast then slow, or intermittent touch. Think of it as neurological cross-training. Just like muscles grow when challenged, your sense of pleasure can grow when you introduce variety. Not only does this reawaken sensitivity, but it also helps you stay mentally engaged and emotionally connected during the experience. For some men, adding safe and appropriate tools like textured sleeves or massage oils can elevate this variety. Even more, these aren't gimmicks, they're ways to explore and support a body that's evolving. And no, using tools doesn't make you dependent, it makes you adaptable. The real benefit of switching things up isn't just physical, it's psychological. When you start exploring new sensations, you also begin breaking out of routine. And with that comes a deeper sense of curiosity, presence, and even gratitude for your body. Because here's the truth. What worked in your 30s won't always serve you in your 60s and beyond. Your needs change, your body changes, but that doesn't mean you lose pleasure. It just means you learn to experience it differently and often, more richly. So if you've been stuck in the same old habit for years, it's time to shake things up, not for novelty's sake, but for you. You deserve an experience that keeps up with who you are now, not who you were decades ago. Let go of the autopilot. Give yourself permission to try something new. You may just find that the spark you thought was fading was only waiting for a change in rhythm. It's a habit many men don't even realize they've been carrying for decades. When we were younger, maybe teenagers just discovering ourselves, or men juggling work, stress, and secrecy, masturbation often became a rushed, mechanical act. Something done quickly, behind closed doors, more out of urgency than intention. The problem? That mindset doesn't just disappear with age. For many men over 60, that same fast-paced approach has become deeply ingrained, almost automatic. And even though the body has slowed down, the habit hasn't. That get it over with behavior might have made sense at 16, but at 66, it could be robbing you of the deeper experiences you're fully capable of enjoying. When you rush through self-pleasure, you're not giving your body or your mind time to catch up. You're skipping over the buildup of arousal, ignoring the subtleties of sensation, and racing toward the finish line without appreciating the journey. Over time, this can lead to frustration, emotional detachment, and a dulling of the very sensations you once enjoyed. And let's be honest, it's not about climax. Not anymore. It's about connection, about feeling present, about honoring the body that has carried you this far, with its new rhythms, sensitivities, and wisdom. So how do you shift from rush to intentional? Start with something simple. Your breath. Before you even touch yourself, pause and breathe slowly, deeply. Inhale through your nose, filling your lungs. Exhale through your mouth. This slows your heart rate, calms your nervous system, and brings your attention back to the present moment. It tells your body, this is not something I need to hurry through. This is something I'm here for. Then, explore touch with curiosity, not just repetition. You're not checking a box, you're discovering what feels good now. Maybe it's a gentler rhythm. Maybe it's exploring different areas, your thighs, your chest, your lower back. Maybe it's simply allowing more time before climax to build anticipation rather than rush past it. Think of it like cooking a fine meal. Would you throw the ingredients into the oven and hope for the best? Or would you take your time, layer flavors, and savor the aromas? The same goes for pleasure. When you slow down, you allow yourself to feel again fully, richly, honestly. This slower, more mindful approach doesn't just enhance pleasure, it heals your relationship with your own body. It reminds you that you're still capable of deep sensation, of joy, of closeness even when you're alone. And don't mistake slowing down for weakness. In fact, it takes strength to resist the old urge to rush. It takes maturity to treat pleasure not as a guilty indulgence, but as self-respect. And it takes wisdom to know that being fully present with your body breath by breath is one of the most powerful ways to reclaim your confidence. So the next time you feel that impulse to just get it over with, pause, breathe, explore, let go of the finish line, and embrace the process. Because you're not just here to feel, you're here to remember what it's like to truly connect with yourself. For most men, especially those of us raised in a time when open conversations about sexuality were rare, the idea of self-pleasure has been narrowly focused, centered entirely on one part of the body. It's what we were taught, directly or indirectly. Pleasure was down there and nowhere else. But here's the truth, and it's something no one told us when we were younger. Your entire body is wired for sensation. And after 60, that truth becomes even more important. When you limit touch to only your genitals, you unintentionally miss out on the vast landscape of nerves, emotions, and connection your body is still capable of offering. Over time, this narrow focus can create a sense of disconnection, like you're going through the motions, but not really feeling anything. It's not that your body isn't working, it's that you're not engaging all of it. Think about this: your inner thighs, chest, lower back, neck, even the area around your perineum, all of these regions hold the potential to awaken new sensations and deepen your connection to yourself. And yet, for decades, they've been ignored. Exploring your full body isn't about being experimental or trying something wild. It's about reclaiming what has always been yours: pleasure, comfort, and awareness. It's about honoring the vessel that has carried you through marriages, jobs, illnesses, triumphs, and change. Try this next time. Before going straight to what's familiar, begin by gently touching other areas. Run your hands over your chest or abdomen. Feel the warmth of your own skin. Notice how a light stroke on your inner thigh can send a ripple of sensation through your entire nervous system. And if that feels foreign at first, good. That means you're awakening something that's long been asleep, not broken, just unexplored. This isn't about technique, it's about presence, because when you involve your whole body, you invite a deeper sense of relaxation, emotional intimacy, and even joy. You stop treating pleasure as a single-button act and start treating it like the symphony. It was always meant to be. At this stage in life, pleasure should not be reduced, it should be expanded. Your body still holds wisdom, still craves connection, still responds to kindness. And when you begin to touch yourself, not just physically, but mindfully, you reconnect with a part of yourself that may have felt lost. You're not just a man with a body. You are a man with history, emotion, and depth, and your body still remembers how to feel all of it. Let's be honest. For decades, you probably never thought twice about using lubrication. Maybe you didn't need it. Maybe you thought it was unnecessary. Or maybe, like many men, you associated it with weakness, thinking, I should be able to do this without help. But here's the truth most men over 60 need to hear. Your body has changed, and that's not failure. That's nature. As you age, skin becomes drier, sensitivity shifts, and what once felt smooth and easy can now feel uncomfortable, irritation, friction, even tiny skin abrasions that you don't notice in the moment, but your body remembers. Over time, these small injuries chip away at sensitivity and reduce the pleasure you deserve. Now imagine this instead: a soft, warm, effortless glide. Less tension, more sensation, and a closer resemblance to the natural intimacy of partnered connection. That's what a high-quality, water-based or silicone-based lubricant offers not a shortcut, but a tool for enhancing your well-being. Lubrication isn't indulgence. It's self-care, just like you wear reading glasses without shame, or lace up orthopedic shoes for comfort. Using lubricant is simply as smart. Compassionate adjustment to support your evolving body. And here's something else. If you have arthritis, limited hand dexterity, or joint stiffness, a common reality for men over 60, lubrication isn't just helpful, it's essential. It reduces the effort and strain, making your experience not only more pleasurable, but more sustainable. And let's not forget your nervous system. Gentle, frictionless touch awakens nerve endings that may have dulled over the years. It allows you to stay in the moment longer, feel more fully, and explore pleasure at a deeper level. That's not weakness, that's wisdom in action. So, if you've been skipping this step out of habit or pride, it's time to reconsider. Because what used to work without effort might now need a little support, and that's okay. You haven't lost your vitality. You just need to meet your body where it is today. And when you do, something beautiful happens. Not only do you bring back sensation, but you also bring back confidence, comfort, and a sense of control over your experience. So go ahead, invest in yourself. Reclaim your comfort, reclaim your pleasure, and remind yourself that this isn't about performance. It's about treating your body with the care it's earned. It's one of the most silent and most damaging barriers to pleasure for men over 60. Not physical, not medical, but emotional. Shame, guilt, that subtle voice that says, you shouldn't be doing this. Maybe it started decades ago, growing up in a time when talking about sex was taboo, when self-pleasure was something to hide, not to understand. That mindset can linger, buried deep, even if you now know better intellectually. You may tell yourself it's normal, but still feel a shadow of embarrassment afterward. You may rush through the moment as if you're doing something wrong, when in truth, you're practicing one of the simplest and healthiest forms of self-connection. Let's reframe it clearly. Masturbation is not a moral failure. It's not shameful. It's self-care, and not just physical, it's emotional, even spiritual. For men over 60, it can be a grounding ritual, a stress reliever, and a way to reclaim ownership over a body that has carried you through the highs and lows of life. Modern science backs this up. Older adults who regularly engage in mindful self-pleasure report better mood, reduced anxiety, improved sleep, and higher self-esteem. But none of those benefits can fully take root if shame is sitting in the room with you. So the real shift begins here, not in technique, but in belief. Ask yourself, where did those old messages come from? Were they truly yours, or were they passed down by someone too uncomfortable to face their own humanity? When you let go of those inherited burdens, you create space. Space for comfort, for joy, for permission to explore, not because you have to, but because you deserve to. You're not broken. You're not doing anything wrong. You're simply reconnecting with the one person you've known the longest, yourself. This is your time to live with fewer masks and more meaning, and embracing your needs without guilt is a quiet but powerful act of self-respect. So next time you feel that flicker of shame, pause, breathe, remind yourself, this isn't about hiding anymore. This is about healing. Because the truth is, there's nothing wrong with you. In fact, there's something profoundly right about honoring your body with kindness, curiosity, and dignity. Here's the truth most men never hear. Your body isn't betraying you, it's evolving. As we move through our 60s and beyond, changes in sensitivity, dexterity, and stamina are entirely normal. And yet, many men cling to the same routines, the same approaches, and the same expectations they had in their 30s, not out of pride, but out of habit, or worse, because no one ever told them they had other options. This is the mistake ignoring. The modern tools created to help men just like you experience more comfort, more connection, and more pleasure. Think about it. You wear reading glasses to see more clearly, right? You might wear orthopedic shoes for support. So why not offer the same compassion to your sexual well-being today? There are specially designed tools and enhancements that respect the changes. Your body has gone through. Soft silicone sleeves that mimic natural sensation, ergonomic designs that reduce strain on joints, and massagers that help awaken forgotten zones of pleasure. These aren't gimmicks. They're not about replacing your touch or masculinity. They're about enhancing what's already there, about evolving with grace and wisdom. Far too many men suffer in silence, believing that if they need support, something must be wrong with them, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Using the right tools is not weakness, it's intelligence. It's choosing comfort over discomfort, confidence over confusion, joy over frustration. If you've ever felt that self-pleasure was more difficult, less satisfying, or simply not what it used to be, this might be your missing piece. Not a pill, not a miracle, but a simple shift in how you care for yourself. And once you do, you may just rediscover a part of yourself that's been quietly waiting dormant, but never lost. So here's the invitation. Explore what's out there. Try, adjust, adapt, because your pleasure doesn't have an expiration date. It has a new chapter, one that begins when you stop resisting change and start embracing it with curiosity, self-respect, and the boldness to live fully right now. There comes a point in a man's life, often after the age of 60, when the stories he once believed about his body begin to unravel. For decades, self-pleasure may have been something done quietly, in the shadows, wrapped in secrecy or even a hint of guilt. It wasn't talked about. It wasn't celebrated. It certainly wasn't framed as anything valuable, just a leftover habit from youth. But here's the truth that too few men ever hear. This isn't just a habit. It can be a healing practice, a moment of self-respect, a way to reconnect with your body, not to escape it or control it, but to understand it. Your body hasn't betrayed you. It hasn't shut down or turned against you. What it has done is ask you to listen differently. At 60, 70, 80 years old, you're not running on the same wiring as you did at 30. But that's not a loss. It's an evolution. And this new chapter, it isn't about performance. It's about presence, about letting go of outdated expectations and embracing what your body is actually telling you. Too many men are conditioned to see sexuality as a test of strength, or worse, as something they should move on from with age. But your sexual well-being isn't just about sex. It's about how connected you feel to yourself. It's about peace of mind, emotional balance, even the confidence you carry throughout the day. That's why it's time to stop seeing self-pleasure as some private ritual shrouded in shame and start seeing it for what it truly is, a form of self-care. Just like a walk in nature clears your mind, or a good night's sleep resets your energy. This practice, when approached with mindfulness, can do the same for your emotional and physical health. You don't need to rush. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to meet anyone's expectations, not even your younger selves. Instead, what you do need is permission. Permission to slow down. Permission to feel. Permission to treat your body with the same respect you've offered to everyone else your entire life. Think of it this way: if you've spent decades giving your time, your energy, your loyalty to others, now is your chance to give something back to yourself. There's strength in that. There's dignity in that. And more than anything, there's healing in that. So let go of the myth that your best years are behind you. Let go of the outdated idea that pleasure is only for the young. And embrace this simple truth. You are still here. You are still worthy of feeling good. And your body, this aging, evolving body, is still trying to have a conversation with you. Not through loud signals, but through subtle cues, through sensation, through stillness, through softness. And if you learn to listen, what you'll find isn't just pleasure, it's peace. Because when you shift your mindset from secrecy to self-care, from judgment to curiosity, and from performance to presence, you don't just reclaim pleasure, you reclaim yourself. Let's take a step back and reflect. Today, we uncovered 7 silent mistakes, not to make you feel ashamed, but to open the door to 7 new opportunities. Opportunities to feel more connected, more energized, and more at peace in your own body. And here's the truth that matters most. You don't need to perform like you did at 30. You don't need to chase the past. What you do need is a deeper understanding of the body you live in now, a body that still speaks, still feels, still longs to be honored, not ignored. Because aging doesn't mean you're fading. It means you're evolving. You're not past your prime. You're entering a richer one, a deeper one, a wiser one. So if even one of these insights helped you see yourself differently, if it sparked a moment of clarity or a shift in how you treat yourself, then don't keep it to yourself. Hit that subscribe button, because this journey of self-care and sexual wellness is just beginning. Share this video with a friend who might need to hear that their